Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy HUSA 2012 here, back at it again. This time, I'm actually going to show you a tournament replay of a game that I just recently finished a couple hours ago. So it's fresh off my mind, and so we're going to get right to it. So this tournament is part of it's a Smogon non-official tournament, so it's not like the Grand Slam or SPL for Ubers or whatever. Premier League, I should say. This is more so of a fun tournament hosted in the Ubers forums. And so this is the UB Ubers tournament, which you have to bring two UBs into a Uber format, and you just gotta win. It's a best of one single elimination. So my first round is against my opponent, Walmer. I guess that's how you say it. And so looking at his team, we both brought the same UBs, Naganadel and Celesteela, which are really good offensive and defensive Pokemon, respectively. Naganadel is still nasty, man. I'm kind of glad to see this Uber Mon not know you anymore. It's so freaking nasty. Um, my team composes of uh, Dragonium Z, Naganadel, typical OU defensive Celesteela, Primal Special Mixed Groudon, Life Form Marshadow. I have the Fairy Arceus so that my team isn't weak to Yveltal. And I got Scarf Yveltal to outspeed um, Ultra Necrozma without any Rock Polish or Sticky Webs against me. So look at my opponent. He has actually have a Houndoom, which kind of not kind of somewhat threatens my team. It threatens the Celesteela, which is a good counter pick because Celesteela without Earthquake can't do anything to the Houndoom. I assume that this was Primal Groudon, Dragonium Z Naganadel. His Arceus, I really don't know what his Arceus could possibly be, though it would make sense if it was Fairy or Poison, or yeah, Fairy or Ghost Arceus forms, depending on the matchups. Uh, Palkia, usually I do see the Z heal block Palkia, which gives you +2 special attack, but because he has a Naganadel, I don't think it's the Z, unless Naganadel actually has a Scarf. And last but not least, we have the typical Celesteela wall. So let's get right to it. So I lead off with my Yveltal because his Choice Scarf, I can outspeed everything on his team, and he's up with Groudon. And I notice here that it did not transform into its primal form. So this means that this Groudon must be holding another item that could possibly help it out, but without the primal reversion, base Groudon is like not really much of a threat against me since I have a couple counterplays against him. So turn one, I'm gonna U-turn out of there, does nothing, and I go into my own Primal Groudon, expecting him to throw up some rocks, but he actually goes for the T-Wave, like I predicted. And he has leftovers, so this must be a bulky Groudon. I go for the Earthquake to see how much it does 30, I does absolutely nothing, he gets his rocks up. I just go off with the Fire Blast, and I just knock this boy out of the park. This is not resisted because obviously it's not that. So, unfortunately here, he goes into Arceus Fairy, which I predicted, as you guys saw. It has Toxic. Now, I don't want my Celesteela coming in and getting chipped by this Arceus, and if I bring in my Celesteela, that means it's gonna more likely bait in the Houndoom or the Palkia if it has Fire Blast. So my Groudon is my mid ground play and staying in. Fortunately, he misses the Toxic, but me, really unfortunate for him, I crit him with the max special attack Fire Blast, and everything just goes downhill from there. So he goes into Palkia, he does goes for the Spatial Ren, and I throw out my own rocks. I don't want my Primal Ground to be weakened anymore, so I go into my Arceus Fairy. And he goes for the Spatial Ren again, thinking that I don't have a Fairy on my side. So what I'm thinking here is that Palkia is either going to be maybe baiting in the Arceus form, but more than likely, this Palkia is most likely Scarf or Specs, since that Spatial Ren did a lot of damage to the Primal Groudon. Even though I'm not like invested in defense or Spadef in this case, that Spatial Ren did really a lot. So for him, he switches out into the Celesteela, which is fine, and I predict that by going back into my Primal Groudon, expecting this boy to go in. Now, I'd go for another God play here, Predicting to go into his Houndoom because it has Flash Fire most likely. Hit him with an Earthquake and he's gone. So there was two back-to-back God plays that I just made. Now he brings in a Naganadel, meaning me, I gotta switch out of here and go right into my Celesteela. More than likely, he's gonna go for the Fire Blast here. He predicts that nicely, which is a good play on his part. Now I don't want to lose my Celesteela, so I can able to counter the Palkia. So I go into my Yveltal. He Fire Blasts again, which is fine by me. As he goes, gonna go into Palkia, and I believe I go for the Dark Pulse here, and it does a lot. So this means this Palkia is not really investing in defense. Now, as you guys saw, that this Palkia outsped my Scarf Yveltal, which means the only possibility is that this Palkia is actually Choice Scarf. So he knocks on my Yveltal, unfortunately. As I go into my Arceus Fairy, take some rock damage. He's going to go into Celesteela, which is fine by me, because I'm just going to scout the set of Celesteela. As that does 22, which does quite a bit for a defensive Celesteela against Arceus Fairy. So I go back into my Groudon. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to sack it off to whatever it does. He goes for the Leech Seed, which is a good play, because he gets more recovery off the Celesteela. But I got the bad boy Naganadel waiting to clip someone right now. The Fire Blast does over half, which is good for me. I live the Fire Blast, and this might be game over, because if I fire off the Z move here, I get a +1 speed because of my spread. That means I get to outspeed any Scarfers on his team, and that means the game is over. So, really fast game, as I knock this Naganadel out of the park. That's really weak defense, so I don't expect it to live. And I get +2 speed, meaning that this Celesteela will die to the next Fire Blast. So, overall, unfortunately for my opponent, the game with those crucial misses and obviously the misplays that he did somewhat, or not more of misplays, but more of the God plays that I did, I was able to pull off the win. And I didn't even bring out my Marshadow in this game. And even so, like if my Naganadel got knocked out, I still had my Marshadow to wipe out the rest of his team. So that was it for the round 1, and hopefully I get to play round 2 soon. It was kind of fun using Pokemon that in Ubers that I usually don't use. Like Naganadel is an Okemon, but it's just disgusting when it gets the snowball effect rolling. And Celesteela is an overall good defensive mod. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hit the like button and subscribe for more content. Thank you guys, and good night.